How about now? Can you hear me? Hello. Thanks for tuning in to our dev stream. My name is Aaron, and I'm the technical director here at Stitch Media. Today I'm going to be working on some live coding for Terrorarium in Unity. Gonna do maybe some fog of war, a little bit of movement, AI, pathfinding, that kind of fun stuff. Thanks for watching. I gotta turn on my follower count. One sec. I got a cool LED thingy over there. BRB.
First, the US was pulled into.
All right, I'm back. I've got a question here that says, "What's fog of war?" So, fog of war in a real-time strategy game is like often literally a fog, but it's kind of like a grayness that prevents you from seeing parts of the map until those places have been explored. And then, if they've been explored but you're not currently occupying those spaces, then you see them in a different way. So, I'm gonna put on some music because that's how I like to work. And we can start doing it. So what I've got already is just the old movement code. I stripped away a bunch of the visuals, like the effects and the terrain and stuff. So you click and they move. And they know that they can't walk on water. So if you try to tell them to walk on water, they won't. However, the goal for today is to make it so that they don't know about anything that is kind of off screen or out of their range of vision / knowledge. So I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna throw in probably have some prefabs, but just an obstacle for testing, like a rock or something that they know that they can't walk over. Let's see what we got. Something nice and simple. Can I lower my music 30%-ish? Oh, that was probably actually the game's music that you were listening to, because my music's playing just in my headphones. So that's a very large rock. Let's just cut that down a bit. So we got a rock. And it's on the layer, or it's tagged as unwalkable, so the movement code should just figure that out right away. As you can see, it is indeed unwalkable, and they should avoid it. Okay, they're not super smart, but they try to avoid it. Man, that's so satisfying just as it is. It's been a while. I don't remember how to make it, so it'll update when I move it. Stand by. Penalty of 255 should make it unwalkable, and it should also let me move it at runtime and make it continue to be unwalkable. I'm going to say no, that's not the case, and let's see if I can remember why. Oh, it's probably on the wrong layer. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. I don't remember where we put the moving obstacles. Maybe they didn't make it into this build. Yeah, that looks right. A lot of stuff going on here, but one of them is indeed a moving obstacle. I think it's this one. It is not this one. Oh, here's one. Let's try 254 instead. No, I guess I gotta read this code that I wrote like 2 years ago. Let's try making it bigger, see if that helps. Yeah, they don't know it moved. How come? Need a rigid body or something? I wrote this and I don't even remember. I don't know how crisp the text is on that stream, but there's definitely an array called Dirty Boys. Oh yeah. Let's just uncomment a bunch of stuff and see what it used to do. Who's watching? Who's in the channel? Anyone I know? Anyone I don't know, more importantly? See if this works. Not really. I mean, they avoid it, but it's not updating. This is like not really important, but this was in my mind kind of the first step for the Fog of War, was just making sure that I remembered how to update the terrain and the walkability stuff. That's definitely not what I meant to do. So that really should be working. See, this one works great. So what's different? What's different? Oh. Does it need to have the rigid body for it to calculate if it moved? That's probably what it is. Man, it's been so long since I looked at this code. Man, maybe I should just read it. So that's working. It's adding the white gizmos. Oh, you guys can all see my dumb facial expressions too. Why does that one work and not the others? It's so pretty when it works. I just don't remember why it didn't work before. Actually, oh wait, did that one eventually update? Only update when, or did it only update when the food came near it? No, no, that's not right. All right, forget about this. We don't actually need this thing. We got rocks. We know that they work. I just have to put them on the like default layer, not the default layer. Just put them on obstacles, and then that's it. It just works because of the way I build the flow fields. I don't even need this penalty script. It just has a collider, and then they can't walk around it. So that's just not true either. Tag it is unwalkable, and they can't walk around it. Great. Okay. Lyrics. Switch to music without lyrics. No. No. Sure. So let's build a map where like vision matters, where it would actually make a difference whether or not they knew that there was a rock there. That's probably the best way to do this. say do that. So let's say we want to get them from here, and they don't know that they have to go around and up the stairs because their vision is limited. I gotta add these terrain penalties right too. Right now they'll just go there. Just copy all this. So I think we're going to have to make a new type of thing that has a high penalty but not infinite, so that they will avoid places they haven't been if at all possible, but if the only option is somewhere they haven't been, then they'll go there. So let's try this. What's going to be my placeholder fog of war? Particle default. So the way the movement works is every square has a cost associated with walking through it. Let me turn that on. Hold on a second. Or not turn on, but so you can see the text. So these red squares have an infinite cost of walking through it, in that no matter what, the algorithm will never try to send them through that square. But there are other squares that have a more than zero but less than infinity cost of walking through them. And that's how we can do stuff like uphill or danger, places that they'll avoid if they can. They'll choose an easier route if you give a harder route a higher penalty. So actually, what I should do is I should give the high ground a higher penalty so that they know it's uphill. Let me see if I can do that quickly. Yeah, I didn't need that. I didn't need that sprite render. So you can see it's like white there now, which means that anything connecting to it also kind of inherits that penalty, and so it starts from there and goes down. And so they will go there if that's the place that they need to go. But we can, no, they won't. Why? Because it's the wrong kind of collider. They actually can't go there, so that was dumb. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think I can do this if I just make it a trigger. Those yellow squares are what we call local maxima, I think is what they're called. They're basically places where they're going to get stuck because they're trapped between two places that they don't want to go. So sometimes you got to help them out with just a little bit of randomness or variation in the pathfinding. It's supposed to represent them going uphill. Let's see if it works the way I meant it to. Or are they going to get stuck in this? So one way to avoid these yellow spots, they're yellow just because I made them yellow, but the local maxima or minima, I can't remember what it's called, is just to make your field finer. So if we change the scale, all the squares get smaller, then you end up with fewer of those in theory. I might have to actually make it like a different, like not a multiple of 2, for example. No, just being dumb. hop into Photoshop. Nah, I'll hop into Chrome and just download an image. All right, Google removed that handy view image button. No, I thought I put it there. Oh, of course, I put it in the wrong file, wrong project. All right, here we go. Let's see if this works the way I remember it. Oh, right. Gotta make that texture read write enabled. We got another viewer. Hello, welcome. Yes, I am indeed using Unity. That's a bit better. Cool. Okay. So this fog unintentionally also makes them want to stay in the middle of it, even when they don't have a destination. So maybe change that. Okay, that's a bit better. Let's do this. Let's adjust the curve a bit so that they really kind of, the fog doesn't influence their behavior until they get near the edges of it. Let's see if that does what I think it does. I'm going to say no, that didn't do what I meant to do. Instead of just doing these sliders, I'm going to read and remind myself what they did. If it's greater than the threshold, return byte max value. If it's less than the value, return 0. Okay. So I'm going to say everything less than 127 is 100% walkable, and everything greater than 254 is 100% not walkable. We'll try a linear in between those and just see what it does. Okay. That's fine. I'm just going to increase this to something bigger. Yeah. That's fine. See if that does what I want. Yeah, great. So they got a hard circle. They can't leave their fog of war because they don't know about anything outside of it. So they'll walk into anywhere within this circle, but they don't know about, like, they don't know how to get over here because they can't see it. So now do that. And so now they actually will be able to figure out how to get there, but they'll try it as their last choice. I think that does what I want. Yeah, they don't know how to get there. That's fine. Oh, you guys can't see when I open up this animation curve editor. Sorry. I double click on here and it opens up a thing, but it's not showing up in OBS. My bad. Okay, so this is working exactly how I want. If I try to tell them to go somewhere that's outside of the terrain that they know about, they just won't. And so all I need to do now is make it so that when they get close to the edge, or just as they move, we update this bitmap. Sweet. So, oh, it's been a while, but yeah, we're gonna do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll. Is it not? Oh yeah, that was dumb. I did all that and then I didn't actually use the new script. Can I do a literal there? No, I don't like that. Do it. Is that kosher? It's been so long. Compiles. No, it doesn't. Wait, isn't it right? It's a list. Man, it's been so long. Must be at least width times height. Okay, cool.
Did I get that error? Why do I have the same file open twice?
Hi, Daxter. I am working on some Fog of War code for our game Terrorarium. So what I've got right now is I'm generating this black bitmap at runtime, and then what I want to do is update it so that when units move, we add some gray or white to it so that it changes where they can see and move to. This is not working, apparently. I'll be honest, I haven't actually tried attaching the debugger on this machine, so we'll see if that works. Sometimes when you attach the debugger, it just crashes. No, I don't think this did either. Let's try to do something silly here. Oh boy, why don't I remember how to do random in C#? Wow. Isn't that it? That's got to be right. Yeah, no, I knew that. Thanks. I don't know why I've been doing like JavaScript and PHP programming for months now, and I haven't been doing Unity recently at all. But that does seem to have worked in that it's you can see different values in there are giving us different degrees of walkability on the flow field. And so that means that I'm on the right track. So I'm just gonna add like an inspector button to randomize and make sure that everything works. And then once I've got it working with randomness, I'll start adding some circles for vision. Handy dandy attribute here, which, oh, is it not in this project? Oh, it's so good though. I had this handy dandy attribute that makes these buttons clickable. Do I prefer Visual Studio Code to Visual Studio? Honestly, I never really used Visual Studio. I kind of went from Xamarin / Monodevelop to VS Code. When I'm writing JavaScript, I'm using Atom mostly, but for C#, I do like VS Code a lot. It's nice and snappy. It's got a good plugin ecosystem. Everybody complains that it's like built-in Electron. It hasn't bothered me at all. It doesn't seem to make a difference. Man, I swear I have these editor buttons in here. Maybe it's just not in that code. Button attribute, that sounds right. Hey, okay, cool. This is like possibly my favorite thing ever is button attribute. This is all it is you throw the attribute on it and then it turns it into a clickable button in the inspector. So I just do that button there and then boop, I got this button. Yes. Sweet. Okay, so the bounds bit isn't working because it appears to be using half the width and half the height. Sorry guys, you can't walk there anymore. Lovely. Surprisingly it's not killing the frame rate either, updating all those squares. I just say surprisingly, I spent a lot of time optimizing it too. Sorry if I'm mumbling. I don't even usually talk to myself when I'm programming, let alone to other people. I'm usually just like listening to, I don't know, Venetian snares or Avex Twin or whatever, like, I don't know, hacker music. Hacker music. Drum and bass, I guess, if you want to call it something. Mm-hmm. All right. So we don't actually need randomize. We'll just fill it with white. No, not white, black. Yeah. I mean, I'm listening to music in my headphones, but I don't know what the legality of playing like copyrighted music is on the stream. / if you're probably listening to music while you watch my stream, so I'll just leave the music choice up to the viewer. All right. So, should now do that. Great. They can't walk anywhere. Next step is, of course, to have them starting to write to this, which I guess means it needs to be a singleton. Sure. Let's make it a singleton. Let's just steal a singleton pattern from somewhere else, though. Nope, it don't like that. I don't know. I mean, it's personal preference. If it depends on the context in which you're watching this, right? Like if you're watching this while you're also trying to work, then like I said, you probably have your own music on. I'm just gonna call this fog of war. No, I'm gonna call it fog of war bitmap because that's what I already called it. So this is the like self-instantiating singleton pattern where if you try to use it and it's not already in the scene, it'll create a new one and pop it in the scene for you. It's handy. We like to have like kind of partial scenes or dev scenes where sometimes you forget all the stuff that's supposed to be in there. So this is handy. So we got our fog of war bitmap instance, like our singleton. I'm going to make a new component to put on the unit, I guess. At this project at least, everything is broken up into separate components. So, steering, UI, unit. Yeah, we're not using namespaces though, and maybe we should. And, yeah. Give it a nice long descriptive name. Although I will move it to a different place. Now, a lot of the stuff in this game is, I guess, optimized, but it's queued. So, like everything on these units, we put it in a queue so that it only does a certain number of them per frame. And I think I'm gonna want to do the same thing here. Just thinking forward, I guess. I don't know. How much do I care about optimization right now? Kind of zero, but also kind of a lot. Let me just see if there's a nice handy one to steal from. I mean, if we queue the update terrain, no, you know what? We'll do it without the optimization first. Let's just get it done. Let's just try it. Let's say we're going to have a function called reveal, I guess. That'll like reveal a section of Fog of War. Oh, I got a question about the queuing. So it started because we took this open source library called Unity Steer. Let me see where it is. I guess we put it in plugins. Unity Steer. So they have ticked queue. Ticked vehicle. Let me try and find it. The actual Unity ticked queue. So so the way it works is you can just create a bunch of named queues and set like how long that queue can take per frame or how many actions it can kind of flush out of the queue every frame. And or how fast it ticks, so the queue doesn't even have to tick every single frame. And so we're using that in most of our pathfinding. So for example, like only 200 units actually do their like update loop in that frame, so that you don't get chokes in the frame rate. So if I hit run, you'll probably see some tick queues showing up in the hierarchy. Yeah, so there's one for radar 2D, one for steering 2D, and one for flow field. So in my flow field code, I'm using the ticked queue. Find it here. Not that one. Here, queue name. Let me just see if I can find the actual code that's calling it. DQ. Yeah, so you just give it a void tick, and then when tick is called, you do the stuff that you would have done every update instead. So giving different parts of the game, I guess, different frame rates, but it totally works. Hope that answers your question. I hope my mic wasn't muted. Okay. So let's go back to modify Fog of War. Let's just do like... What's your plan, Smudge 202 Gaming? Yeah, check out Unity Steer, but like they probably got that queue from somewhere else. Unity ticked queue. I bet this is just like on GitHub somewhere. Sure. Yeah. That's, I mean, it's a GitHub last updated in 2014, so it may or may not be useful, but it's still working in Unity 5.6, so why not? This is the fun thing about just like pure logic stuff that's not really tied straight to Unity itself. Anyway, I'm just like, this function doesn't exist. I should probably make one. What am I going to do? Radius? Sure. Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying. We have exactly that. We have like kind of the AI ticks. I mean, depending on which bits, you can have them check only like once every 2 seconds if they actually need to, figure out a different path or a different location, depending on how your AI is set up. You have your graphics ticking at one speed. Yeah, that's exactly it. Splitting the game loop from the render loop. Yes. You know what's up. Fog of War. Let's make a new public function. Function. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's start with the old. Can I do a gizmo in here? No. Let's be a debug dot. I don't think there's a debug dot draw circle. Let me Google it. Nope. Yeah, feel free to drop a link to your blog into the chat there. I give you permission to advertise. I'm just gonna do a like find in files, see if I've done this before. This is a lot of my life is just like checking to see if I already wrote this code and then if I can reuse it. I know I wrote this code on a different project for like a sort of paintball game. The paintball game, a lot of that would translate to this, just in terms of splatting textures onto other textures. Because I feel like I'm going to want to do that instead of like drawing a circle with math. I think I'm probably just going to want to slap a circle on there. Let's do this. Take the reveal map. Yeah, so we'll read from the reveal bitmap and then write it to the other one. Let's do that for now. This is going to take me a while though because I don't remember how to do it. Yeah, I also definitely don't want the actual vector 3. I want, like... something else. I'm not sure who's actually manning the chat right now. Somebody just, like, email that to me so that I don't forget to look at that link later when I'm not on a stream. Okay, no, I gotta write two functions now. First, I gotta write one to actually get your position, and then I gotta write one to update it. Do I have a... Okay, let's do this. This is the part that I usually do on paper and then type in after I've done the math. So you guys are gonna watch me fail for a bit. Like, again, that's probably totally wrong. Just gonna assume that they're the same scale for now. I know there's a better way to do this, but let's just leave it like this for now. Actually, we can just do this. We can just add colors to each other. I'll just clamp it, right? No, we'll find out what happens. This is probably wrong, but I always like to start with kind of the naive implementation anyway. That sounds about right. Are you kidding me? Is it really not smart enough to do that? Alright, I'm gonna go down to 1 unit just to make sure I don't go crazy here. 1 Mugu. Unit mile, fog of war, fog. Okay, so it's not doing anything. Great. Pourquoi? This is where I need to attach a debugger, or else I'm going to be just like, I don't know, writing deep console.log everywhere. So let's see if I can attach said debugger. Okay, well, something happened. How big is this image? Is it just overwriting the entire thing? 300 by 300? Sure is. 1? Make it bigger or smaller? I guess neither. So the IntelliSense, I'll be honest, this is not my primary machine. That's the main reason. This is just like our streaming computer, and so I know the IntelliSense is wrong, and I just like didn't spend time before the stream setting it up with like the right settings and project and stuff. So yes, it does bug me, but it's what am I trying to say? It does bug me, but it's not my computer. I also hate this keyboard and this mouse, if we're being honest. I don't even use a mouse. I use a trackpad, like 90% of the time. Okay, so that kind of worked, but also kind of didn't at all work. So let's see why. I think I just need more gizmos and more debugs. Serialize this field so I can see it. Is it doing the thing? I'm not really sure it's doing the thing. Yeah, no, I use an Apple Magic Trackpad. I love it. Bluetooth trackpad all the way. If I'm making a 3D video game, yes, I'll switch to a 3-button mouse, or if I'm using like Adobe Animate, formerly known as Flash, and I really, really need that like middle click, sure. But no, if it's just text editors, I'll use a trackpad. Okay, so something's going on, and I'm like, it's got to be here where I just like didn't really pay much attention to what I was doing. So let's try this. So first off, that's wrong, and that needs to be negative W over 2, right? Because we got to start at half the width. See if that works. Probably not going to like me dividing integers by 2, but I can't remember if C#'s smart enough. Okay, it might be doing the thing. Check it out, guys. People, gang, crew. Whoa! I don't know what this is, but we got a raid. I really hope my Arduino thingy lights up and tells me that I have 2 digits worth of people viewing. Welcome. Hello. All right. So when I move the unit, the fog of war is indeed updating. So it looks like I just got my X's and my Y's. Maybe just my Y switched. Hi, welcome, Game Dev Company. We're working on a video game called Terrorarium, and I today am working on the fog of war code for it. And so I'm in this lovely world where I'm writing directly to bitmaps at runtime, which is, you know, maybe not the right way to do it, but works for now. Let's try y plus h minus j. So yeah, I mean, it's close. It's trying real hard, guys. It's trying. So the name of the game is Terrorarium. We don't have much to show except for in that we're kind of starting all over again. So we're giving it another crack with, you know, a full team, art directing, like really kind of making it pretty from the beginning, and what we've got is just a bunch of kind of demos and sketches, if you will, in various states. But we do have this really sweet movement code that I'm super proud of, and so all I'm doing is yeah, if you check out our Instagram, or if you come watch our art streams, which are normally on Wednesdays, but I think not this week, there's tons of sweet art, both 2D and 3D. So anyway, today I'm just taking this movement code that we have, which is aware of terrain, but is kind of omniscient, and I'm making it so that, oh, we got a new follower, thank you, and making it so that they won't try and go places that they don't know about. So, you guys walked in on the middle of me kind of staring at some math. But I feel like I'm almost there. Come on. It's updating the thingy. It's carving out the path. And I've probably got my X's and my Y's backwards. So let's actually figure this out. Oh yeah, it's what 4:30 here for us. So I don't know what time it is for you, but good night, I guess. Thank you for dropping in. Okay, so that part's working. So X and Y is going to be center dot x minus transform positions. That's the difference between the two centers. Okay. That might be it. For now, actually, I'm just gonna do this. Bitmap.secPixel. Oh, there's no orange? No orange for cyan. I don't think I'm using cyan anywhere. Oh, you know what? That's probably what I missed. Bitmap.apply. Oh, I see cool motivator. Thank you. I will probably switch to set pixels 32 after. It's really weird doing this on stream, like, because I usually do just, like, I don't know. All this happens in real life to everyone, I guess, but I feel like I'm on display. Oh, come on. Every time. Not actually every time, because autocomplete usually gets it there. Alright. Let's hit play, see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting what I was hoping for, which is some blue pixels, or some cyan pixels in my fog of war. And those should update as I doodle along there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, so let's actually do white now. And I guess I gotta clamp it. Yeah, that's not how that works. Let me just actually see, where am I using width and height, and am I even using them consistently where I need to be using them? Yeah, okay, I'm good. Because it looked like I was kind of wrapping around to the other side of the image. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I click on this, it should be, oh, I'm going to turn this off so that we can see the, whatchamacallit. That's still not actually helpful. There it is. So what's going on? And change it from draw gizmos selected to draw gizmos so that it's always on. Turn these gizmos off. Something's still showing some gizmos. Thought I got that one. Okay, bottom left. Going up to the top left. Going to the top right. Drawing a line across the middle. Oh, it's so close. So what's the problem? It's so close. You guys. Okay. Well, where did I get it wrong? Should make these some round numbers and see if it makes it easier for me to figure it out. And turn off these gizmos in the prefab so that I don't have to turn them off every time. Okay, so when this Mugu walks through it, we get a nice little line. So the top right is correct. The X is like doubled. and then the bottom right is correct, and the Y. What's the deal with the Y? Y is halved, not doubled. We can make this work. Probably just a little bit of Googling, to be honest. Okay, scale is 1. Let's just make the scale 100, 100, width, height, 100.
Thank you, Evan, for the confidence. Let me just read this math again. Center.x minus transform.position.x times transform.local, so that should get me a percentage. Percentage multiplied by the width, right? Yeah. Is it like the way that Unity handles the texture? I mean, let's just do something dumb like this. Like, what? Divide 1 by 2, multiply the other by 2? Take out the clamp and see if that... Because the clamp might be deceiving me. Might be clamping values that I really just need to shift, like add or subtract instead of clamp. That's probably what it is. Take out the clamp for now. I bet it's just, rather than I need to multiply or divide, I need to like add half the width instead.
Okay, so I'm going to add half the height. Yeah, I'm going to add both, actually. Maybe that's all it is. I'll throw the clamp back in if that works. Oh, that's just weird. Local scale, local scale. Okay, yeah, here. I think there might be a discrepancy between what it is and how I'm like rendering it in the gizmo even. Because, so that's transform position.x. Why am I doing that? Get that autocomplete. That sweet, sweet autocomplete. Nope, it's not there. What's the first parameter of rect? X, Y, width, height. Okay. So, X. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That. Why am I doing that? That makes no sense, does it? I mean, if that's what I'm doing, I guess that's what I'm doing. I straight up have that math right there, and I may as well use it. Control Alt space. I'll try it on my own computer later. Unexpected what? Yeah, that's true. I think what's going on is Visual Studio doesn't have the whole solution loaded somehow. Like it's got the C# files, but not the actual like project as a whole. Anyway, so that's sweet. That is working now. So we're drawing a dot there. Let me reduce the resolution and see if it becomes something more useful. Yes. Let me follow that with hell yes. So, let's put it all back together. Turn those gizmos back on. And yeah, this is kind of a nice cheat. Instead of like drawing nice smooth circles on a high resolution texture, I can just draw pixels on a low resolution texture. And go even lower. So reveal bitmap is not actually being used right now, just for anyone who's looking at that and wondering about that. Okay, but so what's giving me this, right? Cost field. Add mover terrain, show gizmos. Oh, it's not updating everything. I kind of like it this way. I'm gonna get rid of this reveal bitmap and radius parameter. I don't even think I'm using anymore. Okay, so pixel apply. Get that's fine. Actually, we can go even better. We don't need to update the whole terrain. We can update just the pixels that changed, which would be to get the, I guess, the bounds of that point. Yeah, that'll be the size of... No, that won't be the size of one unit. See if that works. Probably not, but you know, it might be. It might work. What I'm looking for is when I go back in there for the yellow squares to only be the squares that have changed. Nope. What's wrong there? Oh, float divided by int is not a float. Can I just cast it like that? Oh, it's meant to be a vector 3. Well, that's convenient. Okay. So far, so good. I do need all those x's to change from being x's to being not x's. So that's another story. I'm going to change. What's that doing down up there? First, I'll change the default color to not black, gray. Oh, good. You can spell it the American or the Canadian way. Or I guess not American or not Canadian, but Unity spells monobehavior, right? Right? Behavior with a U because they're German? Yeah, great. Fog. Value. That? No. What I want now is the... Yeah, sure. Not quite that, but something like that. So let's try just changing the curve and see if we can do the thing now where they will not leave the area, or they won't try and navigate through places that they don't know. This is the real test. Not quite. Screw it, I'll make it public. Mm-hmm. Getting closer. I suppose I could update these live, maybe. Sweet. Hey, this is exactly what I wanted. This is working, right? I go there, that's fine. I go there, it's fine. It opens up some more spaces that I know about. I get stuck in a wall, that's kind of normal. But that's fine. What's the deal? Is it just not updating? Okay, so updated bounds. Yeah. I guess. I'm pretty sure this would be faster if I didn't actually get the pixel, but I will do it this way, and then I'll make like some other structure to store it later. This should save on some processing. Only calling the flow field update if it actually changed. I guess that's a no there. Probably just can't compare colors like that. I don't remember. Oh, I see. My grid's too coarse, so it's not actually letting me get close enough to the next spot. I guess the next step is visualizing this to the player, not just in the inspector. Oh, because the unit doesn't know that it's in a place that it can be. Right. Time to add a radius. Radius? Well, we'll do a dumb radius. We'll do a square. So the red is something else. That's the walkability area. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make like an array, or I'm going to loop through. I'm going to do like one square before it, one square after it, and so on. And if any of those has changed, then I'll trigger the update. Yeah, so what I was saying before is I won't be doing this for the real thing. I'm going to probably just make an array, or like a two-dimensional array of Booleans, because I don't need it to be, I don't need to read the pixels. All I really need to know is if that square was known or not. And so I'm going to do it some other way for real after this, for sure. I mean, the other thing I could do is I could get all the pixels at once and then kind of save them, and because I'm pretty much, I know when they will change, so I don't need to actually read them kind of ever except for once. That looks like it will work. So what should happen now is that the unit will reveal a grid of 9 squares. We'll see if that happens. If you get all the pixels at once. So when I say squares, so those yellow squares, those are the navigation kind of size squares, but I'm talking about the actual fog pixels, which are on a different scale. Uh, so it's the ones that are turning white here versus these red ones that are turning white. It's confusing, I know, but the reality is that I don't need them to be the same resolution. The Fog of War can be lower res than the movement grid. That's fine. This feels pretty good. It's pretty small. I might need to make that field of view even wider. And then I'll probably have to do with line of sight later as well, but we'll see. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool until the unit gets stuck in a wall. Oh, no, it wasn't. So here's the situation which... Oh, is the latency between revealed and pathing? Yeah, kind of. I mean, the revealing seems to be happening pretty rapidly. The pathing, there is a bit of a delay in the pathing, and that's just kind of built in there. Because if I turn on, let me bring in a unit spawner, you'll see that the nice thing about flow fields is this will work with like 500 units. Let me just check that this is randomizing the position as well. May or may not be. Yeah, it is. Cool. So this will spawn 100 of them. I'm getting some errors though. What's that error? Unit breed. Okay, yeah, I'll just comment that out because I don't want these ones to breed right now. Line 31, same error. Let me do some stuff so that we can actually see what's going on better. So that's the Fog of War being revealed kind of as it goes. So if I start moving them around, hopefully as they approach the edges of it, it expands. I think I still got to make it expand even more. No, so like I said, because we're using flow fields as opposed to like A-star or whatever, the pathing latency, like it just scales really well. Maybe if I turn off this Fog of War, I don't know what happens to the pathfinding if it deals with it on its own. It doesn't. Here, let me just disable the Fog of War for this for the moment. May or may not work actually because of that singleton pattern. No, okay, we're good. Yeah, they're actually all using the same pathfinding. They all use the same path. So you only need to calculate the path once per unit type and per destination. So if I split them into groups and I have, 3 different destinations, that's calculating the pathfinding 3 times. Or if some of them can walk on water and some of them can't, that's another calculation on the pathfinding. But other than that, no, it scales really nicely. Thanks. The movement. Let me zoom in and turn off some gizmos. I'm really proud of this. It's a combination, like I said, of flow fields and I was saying this last week. It's a combination of flow fields and voids, so they're really squishy. They're really I don't know. I mean, voids is used for simulating birds and stuff, and you'll see like the way that they move relative to each other. If I can move this camera down a bit, they'll flock. I just have too many gizmos on right now. but yeah, they go to the destination, and then once they're there, they actually are told to stay away from each other. And when they're in movement, if only some of them have a path, some of the others will still kind of tag along. We got someone else jumping in. Hi, welcome. So we're making a video game called Terrorarium. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, if left for a long time, they will definitely keep drifting. And there's code in there that actually increases how agitated they get, kind of how much they drift. They get bored. We unit idle. I can't remember where that code is. Unit idle behavior. So just after a while, they start to spread out even more because I'm telling it to change the weighting of the different behaviors. So I turn up like where do we have it? Start idling. Go to definition. Yeah, we turn down the cohesion and stuff like that to make them more just following each other rather than going to a certain place. So let me just turn up the radius of this unit spawner and maybe turn it down to 50 so we can see it better, and also turn off all of those gizmos that I had on because it's going to be a little bit annoying if we actually wanted to see it. Draw neighbors. Okay. Okay, so there they are. Now, that should all be walkable terrain right now. There it is. Okay. Sweet. So I think what I need, though, is a bigger vision radius. I think that's what I'm seeing, is that I need a bigger vision radius because I want to be able to tell them to go a little bit further afield. I definitely do need to add this now as something that I can see myself. So they retain knowledge of the last. No, so once they reach that position, they forget where you told them to go, but the terrain remains in effect. So they get there and they start milling around, kind of like almost like mutalisks in StarCraft is kind of where I was going, where they go to that location and then they spread out. But they don't spread out and make a grid. They spread out and they just start wandering and bouncing off the wall. So you can see that one actually there. It's bouncing. Oh, here they go now. Here they go, spreading out, and they're exploring on their own, and they're actually increasing the fog of war just on their own, which is lovely. But you can see a few of them are getting caught in these squares where they're in the square, but they think that they can't be, and so they also don't know that they can turn around. So I got to change that, evidently. Oh, actually, that might be a different problem. Just increase the bounds of my level. Yeah, so that's a game feel thing. We haven't decided fully how to handle that. What I want to do is have them, when you give them a destination that is in the fog, have them path there, but in a kind of more naive way. I haven't fully decided how I want to do that. I think what I want to have is kind of two different types of fog. One for just the base level, is there water there? Is there a wall there? That I think can be known, maybe. We'll see. And then in terms of dynamic obstacles, enemies, dangers, other stuff, that I think will only work if it's been revealed. So I think, yes, you should be able to tell them to go somewhere that hasn't been revealed, but I haven't decided exactly how they're going to do that. I am getting a message, and I can't reply to it now. So that's a separate thing. Cool. Let's see what's going on. I think it's just the bounds here that I restricted the bounds to save on some processing. So let's expand that and see if... well, they're not going to make it across there anyway. Oh man, yeah, I've been looking at the new stuff in Unity 2017. They do have machine learning. That is a thing. How did they get over there? Did they just walk on the water? Or did some of them spawn over there? What's going on? I gotta pay more attention. I've been looking at the machine learning stuff in Unity 2017 and thinking about if we should do that for these. Okay, so they're walking on a place that they know they can't be, but I guess they're just going towards the nearest place that they can walk. Is it just ML? So I don't know, because I haven't actually played with it, but I'm just typing it into Google now. I think it's built into the NavMesh agent somehow. If you go to the Unity blog, here, boop. So yeah, you like train them. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so how and why are they doing that? That's just not right. So what makes them think that that's okay? What makes them think that that's at all acceptable? Because it's not, guys. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Go there. Good. Go there. Good. No, not good. What's going on? Might be hitting a limit somewhere. I have it set so that it can only do so many iterations. Oh, we got a follower. Thank you. Hello. Look at us. 26 followers. All right. 27. I spoke too soon. I got an Arduino up on the wall telling me how many followers we have. We can do Arduino programming class next week if you want. All right, something made it start lagging. It must be this. It must be that I increased the size of the world. Let's just not do that for now. Oh my gosh, more followers. Thank you. I don't honestly know what it means when you follow someone on Twitch, but it feels great. I'll tell you that. So stop by anytime. Right. So the fog threshold is there now, which means that the fog of war is not doing much if they know that they can go there. It still looks really cool though. Oh, here's a fun thing. Let's change the fog of war so that we add to it. Yeah. What happens if you add to a color in Unity? Does it just like... No, well, let's find out. So what I want to do, I guess, is make it so that the kind of... Yeah, basically a circle of vision, and make the circle wider. Let's just start by doing this again. Just turn down the resolution and see if that feels okay still. No, see, it doesn't feel okay because changing the resolution, it just puts them like when they're right up against the edge of that square. It doesn't really help me. I mean, I know what followers are. I just don't know what we get for having followers other than you guys watching it. But maybe that's the reward in and of itself. I think some people get paid if you follow them, but that's cool. Just buy my video game. Right, okay. So, for next time, I gotta do this like behavior where they're in a place that they can walk from, and they have been told to go to a place that they don't know that they can walk to. So that will be the next thing to do. Let's also, let's try increasing this resolution again, but going to like a 5x5 radius, yeah. Or, yeah, why not? I keep saying radius. It's not a radius. It's a square, and the width and height of the square are 5 pixels, except the pixels are very, very large. So they're neither pixels nor units. 5 of these thingies. That's what I'm going to call it. Feels pretty good. I'm gonna try just putting the camera as a child of the unit and see if it feels okay, like when you're real close up. Fog of War styles. Well, that sure didn't work. No, because you want to be able to go anywhere that's on the screen. See, why aren't they going there? They should be able to go there. That target is totally not on a walkable square. Pourquoi? Why? Get back all my like debug stuff. gotta sort out the camera stuff another time. What are we at? It's 5:30 here in the Eastern Standard Time or whatever. I don't know. Clocks are changing soon, aren't they? Somebody tell me. I could Google it, I guess. Whatever we are, standard or daylight. Anyway, been doing this for 2.5 hours. Maybe I'll go back to making websites for TV shows, and then we'll do some of this next week. Oh boy. Where are you? 12 hours Siberia. Wow. Yeah. That's, well, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I think I'm just calling that. You can see every one of those yellow squares is me telling it to update the movement, and I just think it doesn't need to be, because that's just not right. It really shouldn't be doing that. So that's the last thing maybe I'll do. If bitmap pixel equals color to white, need update equals true. Yep, so that's exactly the opposite of what I meant to do. So that's great. We'll just flip that equals into a not equals. 11th of March, the clocks change. Okay, so it's not as soon as I thought. But it is soon enough that I actually have to remember. Last one. Change these back to ones, and then call it a night. We do not have a Discord, but we have, yeah, I don't know actually. We like have Slack where we talk in amongst ourselves. Once the game gets into like private beta, we will probably set up a Discord for the people who are like playing it, for yeah, stuff like that. Oh, it's not working, but it's so close to working. One last thing. Okay. So when they move, it does the thing. Alright, I just want to see what would happen if I cranked it up to 500 units. The answer is, kind of works. Well, I'm at like 8 frames per second. That's fine. make an anime at 8 frames per second. So in the early versions of the game, and actually probably what we're going to do anyway, the red ones don't know that they're not supposed to walk on water. So their pathfinding tells them to avoid water, but not if it's the only route. And then what happens is if a red one walks on water, it dies and creates a bridge. And then the other ones walk on the corpse, and then they don't die. It's pretty neat, but that is not what you're looking at right now. Yeah, they're just not quite updating the Fog of War as often as I want it to, but also too often in a weird way. Doodle, doodle, doodle on the Fog of War, and then, yeah. To be continued. Thank you everyone for tuning in and for chatting with us. Tweet us, I guess, if you have questions in between streams. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Good night.